Friends, welcome to automationpub.com. You can find the automation tutorials with example code and practice websites for Selenium and Protractor in automationpub.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon for getting notification on the new videos in your inbox directly. Also, reach to us to know more about the online training with Framework. Thank you.
Now I'll create something, a class, an interface class. Okay. Now, how do this is just a generic Java class. How do I make this class as interface? Okay, with the help of this keyword, I use interface. So what is an interface? Interface is how do I say? Interface is a type of Java class where the method signatures are defined. I say method signatures. Okay. Okay. So interface has only the method signatures. What is a signature? The first line of a method is called a signature. What is an implementation? The code within the method is an implementation. Say for example, let's go. This first line, this line is a method signature, and the code within this method is called implementation. These are all keywords, okay? Terminologies that you should be aware of. So now I have created this interface with 3 methods. Okay. So now I want a child class to implement this interface. So what I can do is I'm going to the child class. How do I implement the interface? I use the keyword implements. Okay. And then so now what is the error it is showing? Let's see. The interface listed here. I'm not getting any other type child class from only the interfaces must implement the inherit abstract methods. Now after implementing the interface, so what are the methods showing me some error? Let's see what get test data, method 2, method 1. So what it is saying is it is enforcing the child class to implement this method, meaning this child class has called in for the interface using the keyword implement. So it has to declare those methods here. So now I'll go here, add unimplemented methods. When I click that, it is already added here. Okay. I'll remove it. I'll do it once again. Remove this. Add unimplemented methods. You see this? The methods that we have created in the interface method 1, method 2, and get test data file is implemented here. Meaning, see the difference between the interface here we have only the signature, but in the child class we have the implementation, which means the flower braces where we need to implement the code. Now, what is the code that we can implement? Just a sysO, okay? And one more interface. Now, method 2 of interface. Now, again, say get Excel data. Whatever. Just go. Okay, so now I have implemented this. Now these will not be run as test cases because we do not have the attest annotation here. So this is a only when you give the attest annotation of test ng, this will be considered as a test case. So I don't want to run the previous test cases, so I'll just go ahead and comment the attest so that these test cases will not run. You don't have to comment the entire code, just an attest is enough to comment any code. Okay. So I'll comment that before class also, which I don't want to run now. I'll run only these 3 test cases alone. Right. So now let me run it as test-ng test. See, it has printed get test data. I mean, it has printed printing from test data file, printing from method 1, method 2 of interface. So get test data file is passed, method 1 is passed, method 2 is passed. So test run is 3, failures are 0 and 0 skips. Okay, the purpose, the real-time scenario where you will use an interface is any method, say, for example, for each test case, we will have to provide a Excel, we have to provide the test data. Test data can be in Excel format or CSV format or from a test, from a database. Okay, so we can create a standard, coding standard that every test case must implement one interface, and that interface will have a method called get test data file, and this test data file must be implemented in each test case, which is mandatory to pass the test data. So now this test data can be called in any of these test cases. Are you getting it? We'll see.
Can you come again? I didn't get that.
Okay. So in real-time scenario, every test case must have a test data passed, right? So we need to, so passing a test data or getting the test data is a mandatory step that needs to be done for every single test case. So we have, say, hundreds of testers working on a project. Each tester is doing some 10 test cases. Okay. And each tester, we cannot go and review 10 into 100,000 test cases one by one, whether they have implemented the test data code, how to getting and retrieving a test data code. So what we will do is we will enforce every single person to implement interface. So when they use this keyword implements and implements an interface, automatically they will be forced by Java to implement this get test data file method. So when someone says why I am implementing this method, they will immediately remember that they need to give the code for retrieving the test data from Excel sheet or CSV or from database, whichever is applicable in their project. Fine?
Okay.
Okay, we'll see more about this in the framework, okay, the real-time scenarios.
Yeah.
So that's with the inheritance and interface. So both starts with IN. So
1 minute, Praveen. So in this learn interface, in that Java file, you are not writing any code on code for the implementation part. You are not writing anything.
correct.
Just method only.
Correct.
So instead of that, we can put the method in that child class interfaces. So we can write why you are going for uh, interface.
That's what I just told you. Interface. Okay. If when we have more than more number of testers, they will forget to directly write this test data file, and they'll end up in some error. We don't know why they are ending up with some error. So we have to automatically enforce to follow the coding standard. This particular method is mandatory for every single test case. Okay. So if you are forgetting to write this, okay, Java will throw an error. Say I forgot this. Okay, I have removed this. So saying that I forgot. Okay, now Java is throwing me an error because it is asking me to implement the type file class must implement the method inherit abstract method learn interface dot get test data file. It is forcing the user, the tester, to implement it. Okay, now add unimplemented methods. Only then the error goes off. Otherwise, the error will still be on. Without an interface, if the tester forgets to implement this, okay, use this method, Java will not throw any error at all. Getting it? So that you will recall when you see consistently certain thing again and again and again, it automatically gets registered into your mind. Okay.
Okay. Okay, Praveen. Yeah.
So see, the reason why we are focusing on only the concept that is needed for a tester is too many concepts. If we teach, a beginner will completely get confused. So we are focusing only on the limited concepts that is needed for test automation. Okay, but we will cover all whatever concepts that is needed for test automation, but we are not covering complete Java. Okay, because it will not yield any result. So that limited concepts, go and master it, revise it on daily basis, so that it will be helpful when we see the actual framework. It will be helpful when you attend the interviews. Always in the interview, if a if a concept is asked, you tell the concept, you tell where you have used in your project. Always tell these two things. Tell what is it and where you have used in the project. You will not have more questions from the interviewer. Interviewer will be impressed, right? Because every single interviewer wants to know whether you have really worked or not. So if you tell a real-time example, then he will never have a doubt that whether you have worked or not. That's why we want to implement a framework in a real-time application, right?